When director Tim Burton's dark, brooding Batman came out in 1989, it became one of the biggest movies in the history of cinema, and it established a new style of comic book hero movie making, a sort of a dark film approach to the comics.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Get those wonderful toys.
Word has it that the sequel is even darker, with Michael Keaton back in the title role and Michelle Pfeiffer as the Catwoman in a major film shot in London and Hollywood and due out in mid-July. Batman Returns.
I've been down here too long. It's time for me to ascend.
From the sewers of Gotham, a new villain emerges.
You didn't invite me, so I crashed!
From the rooftops of Gotham, the perfect enemy comes to life.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar. Yeah.
And the only one who can save this city is a creature of the night.
Hey, stud. I thought we had something together.
We do. While she craves a romance she can sink her claws into,
You're catnip to a girl like me.
he plots a foul reign of destruction.
My dear penguins, thanks to Batman, the time has come to punish all of Gotham!
You missed. Above Gotham looms its greatest hero.
If you've always wanted to get your hands on Batman, drop into McDonald's, where Batman Returns is on a dramatic series of 32-ounce collector cups with fine, crispy Bat Disc lids straight from the movie. You can pick up a large drink in one of 6 superhero collector cups at a special price when you buy any extra value meal, because what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Batman Returns, directed by Tim Burton and written by Daniel Walters, was filmed from June 6, 1991 to February 20th, 1992. The cast includes Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, Christopher Walken, Michael Murphy, and returning actors Michael Gough as Alfred and Pat Hingle as Commissioner Gordon. It had a budget of over $80 million and was filmed in LA and the UK. The premiere was held in Hollywood, California on June 16, 1992. It was released in the United States on June 19, 1992. The UK premiere was on July 9, 1992 in London. And then the film went nationwide in the United Kingdom on July 10, 1992, and grossed over $266 million worldwide.
It's kind of fun to play such an enormous, heroic character. I thought this was going to be kind of a breeze because Tim and I had talked about it. We figured we had this pretty well wired, you know. what I did, what I didn't do, what I needed to do, what I absolutely didn't need to do, what was better for me not to do. And we thought, well, this will actually be easy. This will be one of those where you just show up, you know, turn around, look into camera, and spray a little sweat on your face like you just beat up 5 guys and go home. And it turned out it wasn't like that at all. In fact, in a lot of ways, this was harder because I found myself kind of doing an impersonation of myself, which was, first of all, possible. Second of all, really strange. And so I just dropped that and said, no, you gotta just open up like it's the first time and just trust that, you know, the character will be there, I guess.
He's a very strange character because he's a character that likes to remain in the shadows, has a real split personality. He's fairly remote and conflicted. So in the first movie, I think we were really exploring that, and I felt like we arrived at it at the end, really. So I feel, and I think Michael feels the same way. And
You actually feel really good and comfortable.
more comfortable so that we can take this foundation and maybe explore it a little bit deeper.
So I was interested in doing that.
Doctors have spent years trying to analyze these characters, so I mean, you know, we'll do the best we can in 2 hours, but there's lots to explore with it.
Who are you?
It's not a sequel in the sense it doesn't sort of pick up necessarily where one left off kind of a thing.
And action!
The point is to make it feel fresh and make it feel exciting and new and still be Batman.
You missed.
Yeah, Alfred. Go to number 4. Hey, look, go for the phone.
Does it look funny on the phone?
I think that seems weirder.
That does. I've never done this. You want to see what when you're not out doing this.
And if you're just being normal, you know what I mean?
Just acting normal, throw a glove up, kind of be winded.
Yeah, and then, see, in one case, maybe it's good, Michael, that it's a little, that it's like you're
Weird.
being normal.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what I think is kind of weirdly great about it.
Alfred, bring me some antiseptic ointment, would you?
Coming.
In presenting a characterization as unusual as Batman's, even the smallest scenes demanded the detailed attention of Keaton and Burton, and the lighter moments were a welcome break in the complexity and pressure of a massive 6-month shooting schedule.
I'm beat. Pushed.
The story of Batman Returns.
It was really fun to watch the expression on Danny DeVito's and Michelle's face.
I've never worked on a film this big before.
In the movie, the Penguin tries a hostile takeover of Gotham City.
I was pumped.
The mysterious Catwoman
Actually more complicated than I could have even imagined.
tries to sink her claws into Batman.
And my claws were getting stuck and everything.
Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne is attracted to a strangely familiar woman.
I think this guy probably goes big when he goes.
And so does the Penguin.
Likes her, lusts after her.
But this cat isn't looking for dates.
About every 15th day, that's usually where it rolls around with me, that I'm just kind of standing there waiting, and I kind of look at what everybody's wearing. I look at myself, and it gets really tremendously absurd. You know, where you kind of step outside yourself and you realize this is really nuts what we're doing. You just gotta kind of laugh and say, well, here we go.
When we come back from the rooftops of Gotham, the perfect enemy for Batman comes to life.
You know, also the whip is really lethal.
For 5 decades, Batman has battled evil in Gotham. Now there are 2 fresh villains lurking in the shadows, waiting. One is seductively beautiful, lethally dangerous. You never know where she'll appear out of the shadows. And like Michelle Pfeiffer, who portrays this lady of mystery, she is a force to be reckoned with.
People say to me, now, is she a bad guy or is she a good guy? Good at heart, but was always running astray. Yeah. No pun intended. I thought it would be a couple of scenes and probably, you know, not a fully developed character. But I didn't care. I would have done it anyway because it's a kind of idol from my childhood. Then, to my surprise, I read the script, and I found her to be very interesting and very complicated, sort of psychologically. And actually, quite a challenge as an actress.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
She starts out as as a fairly normal person.
Ew, kitty, 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 kitty.
She suffers being in a man's world and all of the
suppressed rage,
the torture that goes along with
being a woman.
Catwoman comes in? What do you think it's on my mind?
Down, Oswald.
Parcheesi?
I wouldn't touch you to scratch you.
She's basically somebody who's driven to do something.
Discovering just how lethal she can be and just sort of what she wants to destroy.
One of the things Catwoman wants to destroy is Shrek's department store, which is owned by an evil, scheming mega-millionaire who also just happens to be the boss of Secretary Selena Kyle, Catwoman's dual identity. And Catwoman's tool for this destruction? The bullwhip.
Anthony, the longest. He was a great teacher.
I'm Michelle Pfeiffer's whip trainer and choreographer. Most people, have a tendency to raise their eyebrow when you say whip. The trick about it is traveling faster than the speed of sound. I'm breaking the sound barrier. So there is a certain hazard to it because it can cut skin, it can break bones. She is doing things with the whip that will make Indiana Jones green. That 90% of the people who do this for a profession can't do.
In this scene, Catwoman wants to whip off the heads of 4 mannequins, and Michelle's 3 months of training really paid off. She performed this difficult and potentially dangerous scene perfectly on the very first take.
Action, Michelle!
Michelle was doing the weirdest things in this movie in terms of things that she had to do. A couple hours to put this makeup, put this costume. Now come and use this whip, Here, put this bird in your mouth.
Nice birdie.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've worn any rubber suits in any other movies.
It's just all really fun.
She's luscious. She's beautiful. She should be mine.
One thing with the black rubber, it almost looks liquid on the body. I mean, she looks like she's wearing black glass. I mean, it's incredibly beautiful. And when you get someone who can really move, like a cat, which Michelle can, it's very fluid looking. It doesn't look like clothes.
I don't know whether to open fire or fall in love.
She's a very feline creature, and she starts identifying with the cats and then literally makes herself a homemade cat suit. We wanted it to be tight to the body and sexy, and that's an obvious area to go into. I mean, especially with someone like Michelle Pfeiffer, who's, got legs for days. And, you want to expose all those wonderful limbs and everything.
The first time I put the outfit on, I thought, I can't walk, I can't breathe, I can't hear, I can't act like this. And that's how I felt. It took me a long time to get used to all of the elements.
She's so talented. There was never any question in my mind that not only was she going to be really terrific in this, but she was going to figure out how to do this.
She's wasting her time with that bozo on the hill.
When I saw her, the immediate impression I got is that she's a great match with Michael Keaton. I mean, they're just, there's 4 great eyes there, between the 2 of them. And that's very important to these characters, is what comes through.
He sees himself in this woman. And there are points where, if you really want to examine it, they almost lose themselves in each other.
You got kind of a dark side, don't you?
No darker than yours, Bruce.
It was a challenge. It was actually one of the most challenging roles I've done.
The thought of busting Batman makes me feel all dirty.
Next up, we meet the Penguin.
He is, without a doubt, one of the most evil characters that I've ever encountered in my life.
Danny DeVito, when the Bat, the Cat, and the Penguin continues. Underneath Gotham streets lurks a twisted creature with a brilliant mind and an umbrella full of evil tricks. He also has an aquatic army of helpers that wreak havoc on unsuspecting Gotham. He's the Penguin, neither human nor foul, a character that's graphically brought to life by a man whose persona is larger than life, Danny DeVito.
The name is Oswald Cobblepot.
I get around mostly by foot in my network of tunnels, but I have been known to ride in a duck. He is, without a doubt, one of the most evil characters that I've ever encountered in my life.
50 years ago, Bob Kane introduced perhaps the most unusual Batman villain of all, a dapper little fellow named Oswald Cobblepot, also known as the Penguin.
When I created the Penguin in the comic strip, I thought he was comical looking.
When I was a kid, I read the comic books.
He looked so unvillainous.
You have kind of an image of this Penguin character already.
The Penguin looks like a cute little fella.
But just get that right out of your mind, because this is so totally unique and different, especially coming from this man.
In the comics, I thought that was one of the characters that had the least amount of a foundation psychologically. It was more just a funny-looking man, as far as I could tell. But we're making him the Penguin.
Unlike the comic book, Burton and DeVito have created a tragic, strangely deformed creature with a brilliant mind. He was abandoned by his parents, raised by penguins, and now lives in the sewer.
Hi.
Flanked by an army of loyal penguins, he embarks on a diabolical plan to destroy Gotham City and
Batman.
I've never planned anything like this before.
I am an animal!
This is from the bowels of I don't know where.
Cold-blooded!
I've never explored this in my life.
I don't think there's anybody any better making the horrible acceptable.
You're the coolest role model.
I just feel like a real kindred spirit with Danny. I mean, somebody who just has a certain take on things which I feel very close to.
Director Tim Burton is also an artist, and his drawing of the Penguin became the blueprint for the look of the character. And to achieve the original look, DeVito endured a 3-hour makeup routine.
It's this cold, clammy glue. It would just go, you know, right, just like that, and then all in here, you know what I mean? Yeah. That was the only moment. That's like walking into the water, you know, and really cold, you know.
You take big leaps in your character, you know. So when I would look at him, I was kind of envious sometimes because I knew you could really kind of get locked away and just go for it.
It's really creepy. I was frightened. He handed me one of his slimy little flippers, you know. And he looked at me. That was it. I said, bye. Also, he stays in character all the time.
I loved it. You know, I just loved it.
It'll be another hour, Danny. It's that penguin thing, you know?
For the Penguins Commando Army, Burton needed a battalion of live trained penguins.
What we've trained the birds to do is to come to a call, a whistle. We've trained them to wear their little missiles in their little hats. When they get to where they're going, they each get a fish.
Come on, guy. Hurry up. Come on.
This is Lucy. She's been trained to wear these harnesses. She's been acclimated to this for about 4 weeks. She's worn wardrobe in the past. They don't mind it. It's part of the deal for them. The stages that we're working on are cooled to 45, 50 degrees. The qualifications were, if you were a penguin and you were available, you had the job.
Penguins, my babies. It was great working with the penguins. I had tons of penguins, tons. Who can hate a penguin?
The time has come to punish all of Gotham!
I rule the birds.
Well, maybe not all the birds. To supplement the live penguins, Burton asked the makeup effects master Stan Winston, who won Oscars for Aliens and Terminator 2, to create penguin robots.
We are duplicating life so that we can get some performance out of a creature that otherwise would not be able to perform. If we do our job correctly, you should not be aware that these are not real penguins.
Are you talking to me? Are you looking at me?
The special effects technology that was utilized to create the illusion of real life also created the penguin's trademark weapon of choice.
They're very helpful. I can fly with my umbrellas. I can roast you like a marshmallow.
What is that supposed to hypnotize me?
No, just give you a splitting headache.
All of these characters, Batman, Catwoman, Penguin, there's a split with all of them. It was with the Joker also. And I think that's the most interesting thing about all of these characters. What they want to be versus what they are. And what they look like versus what they think they look like. You just get all the emotions of humor, horror, sadness, drama, absurdity, and reality all at once.
Tragic irony or poetic justice? You tell me.
This stage right here, stage 16 on the Warner Brothers lot, is one of the biggest sound stages in the world. This, along with 12 other stages in Hollywood, was filled with spectacularly unique sets depicting the world of Gotham. Well, to create this new look, Tim Burton assembled a world-class team of creative artists and technicians. And the result is all sorts of wonderful new toys.
So we have a new and improved Batarang. We have a new Bat ski boat. And we have the Batmobile.
It's a vision that we all remember. The Batmobile rocketing down the streets of Gotham to face the perils of yet another deadly encounter. Hey, and no speed limit.
Tim created his own world for this movie. We didn't use anything from the real world. Everything takes place on the planet of Gotham City. And that's what movies should do. Gee, I forgot about all my problems for 2 hours. I just went to another place and I had a lot of fun.
For over 50 years, we have thrilled to the exploits of this mortal man who somehow accomplishes superhuman deeds. As he fights for justice against the evil forces, we are right there with him. And our children see what we saw growing up, a hero. As long as we have our imagination and a little fantasy, we will have Batman. Good night from Gotham City. Yeah, I got a ride home.
Going to McDonald's. How can we be this long?
We're not lost here. We're in.
Look! The Batmobile!
Gotham City?
Follow it, Dad!
Now you can find the Batman Hamburger Happy Meal at McDonald's for an amazing $1.99. You get Catwoman, Batman's launching Batmobile, or the Penguin. One toy with each Happy Meal you buy your kids.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
And you thought we were lost.
Batman Returns premiered on June 16, 1992 at Grauman's Chinese Theatre in Hollywood. 2 blocks of Hollywood Boulevard were closed for over 3,000 fans, 33 TV film crews, and 100 photographers. A party was held afterwards on Stage 16 Gotham Plaza set for guests who included Keaton, Pfeiffer, DeVito, Burton, Dinovi, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Faye Dunaway, James Caan, Mickey Rooney, Harvey Keitel, Christian Slater, James Woods, and Paul Rubens.
Biggest news in America this week, and possibly this year, is the record-shattering success of the Caped Crusader in the new film, Batman Returns. Katie was at the world premiere.
One of the things Hollywood has always been famous for is big movie premieres. Well, this one is big. We're at the historic Chinese Theatre on Hollywood Boulevard for what promises to be the biggest movie premiere of the year. People have come from all over the world because Batman Returns. Batman Returns tells the continuing story of Michael Keaton as the Caped Crusader, defending Gotham City against evil criminals. This time, it's the feline Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, and the portly Penguin played by Danny DeVito, whose army of penguins are set to conquer the city.
The time has come to punish all of Gotham!
It was a premiere in the long-lost Hollywood tradition, and the crowds turned out to watch the people dressed up as characters out of the movie. There was only one note of discord, when a woman dressed as a penguin made her protest about the use of penguins in the movie. She was gently removed. Then the limos and the stars appeared, and what a lot there were.
What about the tooth? It's never been like this for one of my movies. I'm a little envious, a little resentful, but hey, you know, I'll get over it.
Stephen, you could have played Batman. Would you have liked to have?
No.
Why not?
No, because it's just not me. I don't like to be in cartoons.
I'm excited about it. It's a Tim Burton movie, so it's got a special magic. And we created some pretty neat illusion for the film, too.
Some superlatives. What's the movie? What can we expect?
I don't know. You know, I'm the last person to ask. I worked on it, you know.
Michael Keaton thrilled the crowd with his impromptu hand-slapping, and Michelle Pfeiffer looked even more glamorous than she did in her catsuit.
And across the street from the historic Chinese theater, scores of Bat fans, stars of the movie. Michelle Pfeiffer, who catapults into this sequel as Catwoman, and Danny DeVito, who plays the porky, plundering penguin.
I'm having a great time. Yeah, the kids are having a good time, too, I think.
But the man of the hour was the man who plays the Caped Crusader, Michael Keaton. Would it be too uncool to ask you to wave at the crowd to see how they react?
No, man, no. I was over there a minute ago.
Let me see.
Yo, sup?
I saw her first. Gotta fly.
As well as explosions and special effects, the film is full of ingenious mechanical devices.
You have to wear an umbrella all the time. Actually, it was good for Gene Kelly, too, wasn't it? Singing in the rain.
Yeah, great fun. But I don't want to tip any off because you have to go watch it and see it.
While the Caped Crusader is struggling to save Gotham City from the clutches of the Penguin, he goes batty for Selina Kyle, alias Catwoman. But is Catwoman a romantic character or an evil one?
She's both.
And it's that sort of intrigue that has brought all the stars of Hollywood to be entertained by this film.
I'm overwhelmed with the energy here. It's phenomenal. This is definitely the biggest, most amazing premiere of the year.
I'm a big fan, a big little fan, a small fan. Yeah, we love Keaton and we love DeVito, and of course Michelle Pfeiffer's beautiful and lovely, and it's great to see Hollywood looking like
Hollywood.
A Hollywood premiere again.
The premiere was a great success, and its first weekend in release in America, Batman Returns took over $47 million at the box office, an all-time record. Although that's big money, the real money is made in the merchandising of the Batman image. I'm in a virtual treasure trove. It's the room at Warner Studios where they display all of the items that are licensed to be the official Batman products. As well as having the usual hats and t-shirts, there's everything from boots to bubble bath to Batmobiles, from slippers to sequins and sleeping bags. Right, girls? I asked the president of merchandising about the whole concept.
Merchandising basically is taking the images that we make in films, and television, and animation, and putting them into what we call consumer products. In 1989, it wasn't as important because it was a fashion phenomena. It was driven by fashion. And it started in the UK. It was an underground, there was underground interest there with the rock musicians. However, this time, the movie really is the driving force behind the product. In '89, you couldn't walk down a street in America and other parts of the world without seeing that very familiar logo. This time you're going to see, you know, Danny DeVito's image, you're going to see Catwoman's image, Michelle Pfeiffer, and you will see many other images from the film.
I noticed that there are a lot of small things, the games, the bubblegum and all that, but there's also the big sponsorship, the Pepsis, the McDonald's. Tell me about the corporate advertising bit.
Well, the McDonald's program in the U.S. and North America is huge. I mean, it's unprecedented for them because they've actually changed their packaging for the first time. They have these black holders for their French fries with the characters on them, and they've changed their restaurants into Gotham City restaurants, so to speak.
The Batman tortilla chips. I thought, how do you choose you know?
Well, that's sort of an unusual license, but and at first we kind of on the phone said, no, that's not something we want to do. But then he came in and the packaging was neat, and it held up well under the bat dip test. So we kind of said, okay, let's go with it. It's a fun item.
Is there some bat dip that we know of?
No, we didn't do that. We created our own, but we thought that would be pushing it too much.
From chips and dips to shows and rides, Batmania has also swept into the theme parks. From the Batman ride at Six Flags in Chicago to the new Batman stunt show at Magic Mountain here in LA. The 15-minute show is set in a recreation of Gotham City. A party given by Vicky Vale is crushed by bike-riding vandals masterminded by the evil Joker.
The fun's over, Joker. You're under arrest.
Commissioner Gordon, what a party pooper. I think your job's been getting you down. You need a vacation.
Batman arrives to save the day. But he soon tangles with the Joker.
Well, it looks like the joke's on you, Batbrain. Let's take him to the smokestack, boys. He's really gonna get a bang out of this one. Bye-bye, Batbrain.
But don't worry, Batman does return. I spoke to the stuntmen playing the characters. What is your motive on this show? To get Batman or something?
I'm the bad guy. I want to nail Batman. The fact that he's good bothers me.
You try and get into the Batman mode, you know, pretty cool, and all your movements try to look real sleek and smooth. So it's a different thing for me.
And what sets this stunt show apart from others? Because I know you've done many.
Well, it's Batman. I mean, Batman is so neat. He's got all these really cool things. He's got the Batmobile. We designed him a bat bike that fires rockets. I mean, he slides in on cable. He's like the coolest guy. So, I mean, it's wonderful to be able to have Batman in a stunt show.
Batman Returns will be on release here on July the 10th, and I'm sure it won't be too long before Batmania merchandise arrives here as well.
Here is some amateur footage taken on the night of the premiere.
Batman, Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer. Please stand up, please stand up. And I'd also like to say hi to my favorite announcer in Toronto, Tarzan Dan, who's outside. Also, there's all kinds of prizes to be drawn for. In order to win any of them, you must have half of your ticket stub, which should be in your hand. If you were silly enough to have dropped it off or left it in the washroom or something like that, there are some that the manager does have. The draws will be made at the McDonald's on Bloor, west of Avenue Road, immediately following this premiere of Batman Returns. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoyed the movie. Frank, is there anything you want to say before we go? Frank, ladies and gentlemen, from the Toronto, what is it? Sun.
Someone is stealing Gotham City's power supply. Danger of citywide blackout.
When you want a Diet Coke, you want a Diet Coke. After all, there's just one. Diet Coke. Just for the taste.
Batman Returns opened in most countries on June 19th, 1992.
When Batman returns, he comes back big with a capital B. The Caped Crusader took in over $46 million since it opened, merely the biggest opening in movie history.
It was great. I thought it was very entertaining.
It was a real good movie.
Batman made a smash return from coast to coast, breaking the opening weekend record set by the first Batman movie in 1989. And in Pittsburgh, Batman's star Michael Keaton made his own triumphant return to his hometown for a benefit premiere. Afterward, he celebrated with friends and family, but Keaton admits grappling with some new challenges in Batman Returns. Our Garrett Glazer has that story.
In the movie, Keaton is back to battle the enemies of Gotham City, but he admits he had mixed feelings about slipping into his skin-tight costume again, despite design changes to make it more comfortable.
One of the changes was they tried to put a zipper in it this time to make going to the bathroom a little easier, which was a noble effort, but, you know, there'd be camera angles where I'd hear the camera click off, and then Tim would go, we're seeing the zipper. And the zipper might even be down partly. We're seeing the zipper, so instead of changing the entire thing, I'd try and position myself, and you'd find yourself, you know, doing scenes like this as Batman. And there we are.
What do you want? The direct approach.
Keaton told me he enjoyed working with Danny DeVito, who plays the sinister Penguin, and he got a big kick out of his scenes with Catwoman, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. She literally gives Batman a licking.
Tell me about how many takes you did with the Michelle licking you. I mean, was it easy?
674. I just couldn't seem to find it, you know? I just kept asking him, that one didn't quite work for me.
You all had actually dated a few years prior, right? So,
yeah, a little bit.
Did that help the comfort level?
Yeah, just because anytime you know somebody, I think, you know someone, those things are never probably as great as everyone thinks they are. But, let's face it, there's a point below which, I mean, how bad could it get?
Keaton had no problem getting into shape for the fight scenes in the movie, but it was a different story driving that Batmobile.
I'm pretty claustrophobic. Little things like sitting in a little Batmobile, pretending like you're driving a Batmobile, is really hard for me. If I weren't claustrophobic, it'd be a lot more fun.
Did you have to drive it or anything?
Very little. The thing's a hog. You know, kind of sits there, and you got 6 crew guys who roll it up on a ramp, and then they add, you know, a lot of sound, and you jump out with the keys in your hand.
Batman Returns, the greatest new cereal Gotham City has ever known. Now it's marshmallow and chocolate flavored. With the amazing new Batmobile and incredible new villains. Catwoman. The Penguin. It's deliciously crunchy chocolate flavored cereal and great marshmallow shapes. The action-packed cereal that's part of this complete breakfast. Batman Returns. There's never been a cereal like it.
Although the reviews were mixed, they were mostly positive, with the cast's performance getting most of the praise.
One movie shines above the rest this summer. Batman Returns. Better than the first. One of the most creative and absolutely riveting films I've ever seen. Joel Siegel, Good Morning America. Batman Returns. Rated PG-13. Critics rave about Batman Returns.
Hey, stud.
Funny.
I thought we had something together.
Explosively entertaining. Keaton flies higher than ever. Pfeiffer's perfect. I saw her first. DeVito's dynamite. This is the summer movie of all time. You've got to see it twice. Gotta fly. Batman Returns. Directed by Tim Burton. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Michael Keaton is back as the Dark Knight, pursuing two very different villains in Batman Returns. One of 5 new summer movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert, including Goldie Hawn's latest, plus a look at a featurette by Batman director Tim Burton. I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Our first movie is indeed Batman Returns, another excursion into the dark and murky world of Gotham City, where a bizarre band of characters enact their twisted destinies. This sequel once again stars Michael Keaton in the title role, and once again, Batman is more of an enigma than a leading man. Little effort is made to get behind his elaborate facade, although he's back with as many high-tech gadgets as ever. What's new this time are some fresh characters, including a romantic interest of sorts for Batman. Michelle Pfeiffer plays Catwoman. Also new, Danny DeVito as the Penguin, a grotty little man who was abandoned by his parents, raised in the sewers by penguins, and now wants revenge on society. But the real villain this time is Tycoon Max Schreck, played by Christopher Walken, as a power-hungry manipulator who wants to drain Gotham of its energy. Batman Returns was once again directed by Tim Burton, whose credits also include Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands. And Burton is one of the most interesting stylists at work in the movies today. His movies are always terrific to look at. Batman Returns is consistently fascinating as a visual experience. But it's sort of hard to care about this movie. The storyline is confusing, the characters are only sketchily developed, and it's impossible to get involved in the fantastical story. I always felt I was watching from the outside. There are some strange contradictions here. Batman is not a successful movie, but it is, visually at least, an inspired one.
Well, you know, Roger, I think that there are elements to get involved in the story. I did, and I enjoyed the picture. And the two parts that I enjoyed were the Penguin and the Catwoman characters. I think Michelle Pfeiffer is a good comedian and doing good light comedy. When we see her as the office worker who's going to be turned in after she's abused into Catwoman. And then Danny DeVito, I thought was actually pretty threatening and sad as this little baby, this ill-formed baby who's abandoned. And I thought, this is what Tim Burton does. He gives us characters, including Batman himself, who all have this private pain that they then work out publicly.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is with Catwoman and with the Penguin is that they emerge, they are developed as characters, we get the backstory, and then they don't go anywhere. There is no engine pulling this train. There is no story to really get us from the beginning of this movie to the end, and instead what you have are set pieces, set design, character design, costume design, even personality design, but no narrative.
The problem in the picture, it's not a perfect picture. The problem is the Max Schreck character. Frankly, he isn't particularly interesting. In his story and what he wants to do and how these other two characters fit in, I agree with you, that isn't worked out. But the point is that in seeing this story, I just saw this as a personal story rather than an action story.
Yeah, but the thing is, maybe if the Penguin had wanted to do what it is that the Schreck character wants to do, that would give him some kind of an agenda.
I agree with you.
Because the problem is you have the two most interesting characters basically standing around as participants in somebody else's story.
There's no need for Max Schreck, Christopher Walken, in this picture at all.
And yet I would say, once again, Burton makes great-looking pictures.
Box office league table, Warner Brothers are currently well in the lead. Apart from Lethal Weapon 3, they also have another costly sequel in Batman Returns, with Michael Keaton as Batman, Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. It opens in America this week and is confidently expected to be the big box office hit of the summer. But I wonder, it has some great effects and stunts and the same darkly impressive look as the original. But if you wanted to be picky, you could say it lacks wit, humour, and anything remotely resembling a coherent storyline. Now, these things may not be important, but I don't know. I think they're rather nice to have. Still, judge for yourselves when it comes to Britain in July. In director Tim Burton's film, Michael Keaton appears again as Batman and says he tried to make the character a little different this time round.
Well, you try to do the things that you did in the first one because you have to. He's the same person. And then say, okay, what didn't I get to accomplish in the first one that I can do now? And for instance, in this one, I tried to brighten him up a little sometimes. I didn't want him to be consistently dark all the time. We already established that in the first one. This time we try to find new ways of portraying him, maybe make him a little bit funnier when he can.
The new additions to the cast include Michelle Pfeiffer looking very S&M as Catwoman and Danny DeVito as the vengeful, horny Penguin.
Don't tell me. Naked, sexual charisma.
She's a beautiful woman, and being a hungry, lustful Birdman, with an incredible strong beak.
He's bigger than life, Danny, and after they were finished with him, he was really bigger than life, and he never broke character, and so he was always so disgusting, and so I never wanted to talk to him. And he'd just sort of sit over in a corner and grunt, and it was weird because I never saw him out of costume because it took so long for both of us to get ready.
So far, Batman hasn't even opened, hasn't earned a penny at the box office. But, given Hollywood's current sequel mania, isn't it already likely that there will be a Batman 3?
Probably. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to be in it, but there's probably going to be one. I don't know if Tim will do it, but we may. We may do it together, may do it separately, may not do it. I don't know.
My dear penguins, that time has come! It's Batman time at McDonald's!
And there's a rush to McDonald's for the new Batman neck pins. There's Batman. What do you want? The Penguin. Catwoman.
Meow.
And the Batmobile. 95 cents each with any muffin or burger purchase. So rush to McDonald's and collect a different Batman neck pen each week.
It's Batman time now at McDonald's!
Gotta fly!
But the film's release wasn't without controversy, with parents of young children mostly upset at the film and McDonald's. McDonald's was criticised for its child-centered promotion and toys, and discontinued its Batman Returns campaign in September '92. Despite its PG-13 rating, the Motion Picture Association warned parents that a film may contain strong content unsuitable for children. Warner Brothers received thousands of complaint letters from audience, particularly parents who disliked Batman Returns' violent and sexualized content. Waters recalled the aftermath of one screening. It's like kids crying, people acting like they've been punched in the stomach, and like they've been mugged. He had anticipated and enjoyed some backlash, but acknowledged that he made some mistakes.
Hello, everyone. By now, you pretty much have had to have heard that the summer's big movie is Batman Returns. In its first couple of weeks, it has already grossed more than $100 million at the box office, and it is already creating controversy. Some parents contend that Batman Returns, which is rated PG-13, is actually being marketed for younger children, and the movie is just too violent. Let's get an expert opinion on that from USA Today's junior movie critic, 10-year-old Danny Slasky. Please welcome Danny. So, Danny, what did you think of the movie?
It was very violent. It was a total attack against kids, the whole movie. Everything that kids love was being used against them.
Like what?
Clowns. Even the Penguin had a ducky boat.
So and things that kids could identify
presents
with.
And mobiles. All that type of stuff were using to hurt kids and capture kids. Penguin's total goal was to hurt kids.
You think it was scary then?
Definitely for kids.
Yeah, for you?
I was actually a little bit scared, and I have never been scared of a movie like this before.
Yeah.
I came out of Terminator 2, fine.
Yeah. What do you think about the possibility of younger kids seeing this movie? You're 10, and it frightened you.
It's just not for younger kids. The Penguin always had goop coming out of his mouth. Catwoman took her claws and played tic-tac-toe on a man's face. It was just so violent for kids. And with all the McDonald's toys, it's making it sound like it is for kids, and it's not.
Yeah, actually, Danny, you bring up an appropriate point there, because let me. I have had this lady hold these for me. Thank you, because I wanted to show you that all the hysteria surrounding Batman has caused McDonald's to do a Happy Meal promotion, and you know who's buying Happy Meals? 13-year-olds and over. And these are the toys that are on the market now. Of course, the whole Batman series. So it is all geared toward younger kids. These toys are for 4 and up. Let's take a look now at the controversy that this has created. It's the most hyped movie of the summer season, Batman Returns. It's got a lot of violence and some sexual innuendos. So it's rated PG-13, a warning to parents that some material in the movie is not appropriate for children under 13. But some parents say the marketing for the movie is directly targeting kids who are much younger.
So how come you want to go see the movie?
Because I think it's interesting.
What about you?
I've seen a lot of commercials, and I think it's going to be a good movie.
Here you go. Catwoman.
Even before the movie came out, toy stores were stocking the shelves with Batman paraphernalia for kids 4 years old and up.
Once the movie broke, it really started flying off the shelves. As soon as we can put it on the shelves, the customers are taking it off.
Batman, there's something going on at McDonald's. Better check it out.
And a McDonald's promotion is clearly aimed at kids. Buy a Happy Meal, get a Bat toy, even if you're too young to actually see the movie. Some parents are exasperated.
I think it's not appropriate at all that they're doing this kind of tie-in for the kids. And when she drives by the movie, she says she wants to go see the movie, and when I tell her she can't see it, she bursts out into tears.
Joining us now are Barbara McLean and her 9-year-old daughter, Kara. About a half an hour into the Batman Returns movie, they walked out. And Brad Curl, who belongs to an organization that promotes family entertainment, Batman Returns did not get their seal of approval. Please welcome them. Barbara, obviously you had seen the commercials about Batman Returns and the ads. Did you have any idea what it was going to be like based on that?
I think that a lot of the reason that we went to see Batman Returns was based on a lot of the marketing issues. I'm usually quite vigilant about the movies that my children see. I do not let them see PG-13 movies if I haven't seen them first. I have a 12-year-old son. He has been after me for months to see Terminator 2, and he has not seen that. I'm usually very vigilant about that, but I do think that the marketing confused us a little, and a lot of the reason that we went to see it was based on what my memories of Batman were from when I was a child.
The TV series.
Actually, even probably before that, and that would be the whole series of comic books, which were very, very defined, good versus evil. It was not real violence, rather inferred violence, and it was justice and morality and a lot of other issues that I think are missing from many of the films that we see today.
And certainly from Batman Returns,
certainly
in your
from
view.
Batman.
All right, Kara, why did you want to see the movie?
Well, I thought that it would be different than it actually was, and I didn't think it would have as much violence as it did.
Yeah, what did you think of it? You saw about 30 minutes of it before you left.
I didn't like it.
No, did it scare you?
Yes.
Yeah, you thought it was violent?
Yes.
Yeah, did you have bad dreams afterward or not?
No.
No, but it wasn't, you didn't want to stick around to the end, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah, Barbara, what happened 30 minutes in that made you leave?
Well, I think actually in the beginning of the film, there were some issues that I found were very confounding in terms of looking at what I believe to be very important, and that is just general human suffering. The parents have a child who has a defect, which was not something that we ever saw in the comics. They threw him off a bridge into a sewer. He's a baby. He grows up to be the Penguin. Catwoman is a woman who gets thrown out of a 20-story building because she speaks her mind to her boss. She's abused. And the issues of good and evil were very confusing and very confounding to the children, because here was this woman who had been abused, who then comes back and could have been a good person and helping people, and she didn't do that. So I found that the lines were very gray between good and evil.
What's right and what's wrong. Danny, did you see younger kids in the theater when you went to see it? How many times have you seen it?
I saw it twice to get a real good view of it. And the second time I saw it...
It's his job, no snickering. He had to see it twice, right?
The second time I saw it, when I saw the younger kids, I really wanted to tell them not to see this.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
It's a really scary movie.
Brad, what's your biggest complaint with the movie?
Well, my biggest complaint is that we have a classic illustration here of kind of the Hollywood and the corporate community being out of touch with the family and out of touch with kids. I mean, McDonald's has apologized to us. They're embarrassed really now that they've thought it through. We need a corporate America that's thinking through the impact they're having on our young people. Our kids need hope. They need real heroes. They need a bright future, not these dark. And the film was full of little dirty, really raunchy little dirty jokes and lots of extreme violence. What has that got to do with inviting 6- and 8-year-old kids to the movies?
All right. We did invite McDonald's and Warner Brothers and Kenner, which makes the toys, on today. They all declined to appear. They did give us a couple of statements. Let's look at the McDonald's quickly. McDonald's says, I'm paraphrasing here, they wanted to give young people a chance to experience the fun and excitement of Batman. They go on to say, we recognize our responsibility to our customers, and it was certainly not our intent to confuse parents or disappoint children. We're committed to maintaining their trust in McDonald's and sincerely regret any confusion. Warner Brothers says the movie is rated PG-13. It's up to the parents to take the responsibility of taking their kids to see the movie. And Kenner Products says kids can act out the fun of Batman in a manner that is wholly appropriate for their age group, and that's why they're making the toys. What do you think of those statements, Brad?
Well, I think it's, a little bit of a cop-out. I don't think they're going to do this again. I think McDonald's will think through better next time the kinds of movies they sponsor.
Who do you think is really to blame? Is it the makers of the movie, or is it the people who end up marketing it?
We've talked with a lot of the executives in Hollywood who are in charge of distribution, et cetera, and a couple of them have told us, frankly, we're embarrassed by 90% of the stuff that we distribute to kids. We don't want our own kids to see it. 70-80% of the movies made in recent years are R-rated, and yet they're called horny boy movies, many of them. They're specifically made for teenage boys to take their girlfriends to. So it's a con job out there on our kids. They're not really caring about the welfare of our children.
About 120 products were marketed with Batman Returns, including action figures and toys by Kenner Products, Catwoman-themed clothing, toothbrushes, roller skates, t-shirts, underwear, sunglasses, towels, beanbags, mugs, weightlifting gloves, throw pillows, cookie cutters, commemorative coins, playing cards, costume jewelry, cereal, radio-controlled Batmobiles, and tortilla chips shaped like the Batman logo. Although there were about the same number of products marketed for Batman, there were fewer licenses, so Warner Brothers could get more oversight. Kenner's Batman Returns toy line included 18 different versions of Batman. Many were repaints of a sculpt used for the Dark Knight collection. The toys also included a penguin that's not like the one in the film, and Robin.
The signal goes out. Crime is on the rise. Batman returns. Exploding with power, the Bat ski boat thunders ahead, bolting onto land for a missile attack.
Gotta fly, my dear Penguin Commandos. The time has come to punish Batman. Batman?
Deep dive Batman surfaces.
Fire!
Tearing into battle, Batman blasts his torpedo.
Penguins all wet.
Gotham City's greatest hero, Batman returns. The signal goes out. Batman returns.
Catwoman's been spotted.
The sound of power is heard.
It's fireful Batman.
See ya, Batman.
Batman's turbo-powered Batmobile flies into high gear.
I'm out of here.
In a flash, it's a high-powered Bat missile.
Perfect getaway.
It's Rocket Blast Batman.
Rockets screaming, lasers firing.
Happy landings, Catwoman.
Batman returns. The signal goes out. The ferocious feline is on the prowl.
It's Catwoman.
But Bruce Wayne's custom coupe is loaded with surprises. Batman returns.
What was that?
It's Batman.
Catwoman set the trap.
But Batman's unstoppable.
Now I'm mad.
Batman strikes back.
Catwoman's in.
Batman returns. Bruce Wayne figure included with custom coupe. Other figures sold separately. The signal goes out.
An intruder has been spotted at Wayne Manor.
Down in the Batcave Command Center, it's time for Gotham's greatest hero. Batman returns.
Not a bad nest.
Batman makes a crashing entrance and sends the Penguin flying back to his Arctic hideout. Without warning, Batman appears.
Surprise, Penguin.
Pity penguins can't fly. Batman returns. Batcave Command Center and figures sold separately. Some assembly required. It's Batman. better than ever.
Penguin's umbrella jet is wiping out the park.
In camouflage gear, air attack Batman takes off.
Knockout gas.
Penguin thinks he's won.
It's Laser Batman.
On his laser blade cycle.
Gotcha.
Instantly, Batman is airborne.
You're grounded, Penguin.
Batman, better than ever. Figures and vehicles sold separately.
The signal goes out. Catwoman is on the prowl, but Bruce Wayne's custom coupe is loaded with surprises. Batman returns. He's unstoppable. Batman strikes back, but Penguin is still on the loose. The dynamic Robin climbs in hot pursuit. Air attack Batman takes off. Back to your cage, Penguin. Gotham City's greatest hero, Batman returns.
The Batman Returns video games were published by two companies. The first was Sega, which was on the Sega Genesis, Sega CD, the Master System, and the Game Gear, whilst the MS-DOS, Amiga, NES, and SNES were published by Konami.
He's a dirty bird with a deadly exploding umbrella. And she? Well, she is perfectly evil. A destructo feline skilled in flips, kicks, and cartwheels. They must be stopped. Someone must cage the wild animals let loose upon the streets of Gotham City. In Batman Returns from Konami, only you, as the Caped Crusader himself, can end their wicked reign of terror. It's Super NES action like you've never seen before, simulating all the adventure and intrigue of the hit blockbuster movie. Step into the silver screen as you fight for justice through 7 cruel and unusual stages. Meet your arch enemies in intense 3D simulation as you command the high-speed Batmobile. And then, chill out in Penguin's dreaded Arctic World hideout. Gameplay is designed to appeal to all age and experience levels. Batman Returns brings superhero stature and silver screen simulation to the Super NES, only from Konami.
And no one can stop Batman from returning home. The movie event of the year is now for sale on video cassette. So bring home the Bat. What do you want? The Cat.
Yeah.
And the Penguin. Gotta fly! In the movie Rolling Stone called explosively entertaining. Batman Returns.
Batman Returns was released on VHS and Laserdisc on October 21st, 1992. Its VHS version had a lower than average price to encourage sales and rentals. The film was expected to sell millions of copies and be a well-performing rental, but its success would be restricted by its content, which would appeal less to children. Batman Returns was released on DVD in 1997 with no additional features. The film's novelization by Craig Shaw Gardner was published in July 1992.
We'll have a look at my Batman Returns merchandise. It's not as impressive as my Batman one, but let's have a look. I got a VHS tape of Batman Returns with the snowy logo. Nice silver writing. 15 certificate, again, like the first one, because 12 wasn't on the VHS tapes at that time. And the original 3 characters on the poster. Michael Keaton getting top billing this time, but this one has a different background and a different label. Let's have a look. Yep, different pictures. I've got some collectible cards. Let's have a look. So they're all mixed up, unfortunately, but Penguin, the Batmobile. So I got that set, which is this background. Not 100% sure it's complete. And then I've got this set, which are the bigger ones. Let's see. Here we go. Actual one, the fire breather. So Batman burning someone alive. But then these have the that on the reverse. So that's them. I'm going to get them all out. I'll be here all day. Then I have some magazines and etc. So this is the movie. So this is the movie magazine that came out at the time. This is the premiere issue, going for the Batman Returns hype. So there it is, the Dark Knight in Gotham again. Nice picture on the Batmobile. Alfred. Oh yes. And that's your lot. A bit about Terminator, etc. Not much in the magazine. I'll get some artist drawings in the back. But there's that. Then, I got the graphic novel, or what is it? Official comic adaptation of the Warner Brothers motion picture Batman Returns. So there we go. Nice colour, nice drawings. Seems to have the likenesses. What's on the back page? Just an advert for the film. Then I have some souvenir collectibles. Unfortunately got a bit sticky, I don't know why. But more about the making of, all the merch you can buy. The Catwoman again, big selling point of the film. She's on every page. But merch. Then what have I got here? Two things. Giant posters. One of Batman. Let's see. I seem to be missing some. Oh yeah, there's the other poster series, but then so it does fold out to a very big blue picture of Batman. That's that. So that's that one. And then last thing, I only have the Catwoman one. See, I don't have the Penguin one. I'll have to look out for that. But as you can see, this was up on a wall at some point, hence the damage, which of course I instantly regret. So Catwoman, and then of course the lovely Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. But there we go. That's it for now. Back to the rest of the video.
When Batman's arch enemy, the Penguin, reserves a room at any choice hotel, like Quality, Comfort, Clarion and Sleep, or Econolodge, Roadway and Friendship, he doesn't get to stay free. But his kids do. Kids 18 and under stay free at any of the 7 brands in the Choice Hotels family. Call 1-800-4CHOICE today.
Batman Returns had its TV premiere in the US in the summer of '95 and on the BBC in November of '95.
Tonight on NBC. You don't really think you'll win, do you? Michael Keaton is Batman. You missed. Danny DeVito is the Penguin. Not a fly. Michelle Pfeiffer is Catwoman. The network television premiere of the biggest action movie of all time. Batman Returns tonight after the All-Star Game on NBC. You don't really think you'll win? Tonight, the network television premiere. Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Batman Returns, NBC tonight.
In June, HBO asks you to please be kind to animals, or else. Batman Returns, just in time. It premieres Saturday, June 5th, only on HBO. Nice kitty.
Meow.